All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. This is the one you've all been waiting for. This is the nail polish panel. Doing a little nail art today. My name is Denise. I'm one of the Midwest Com girls. I actually am the admin and mod of the Michigan community specifically. Um, I've been in Lolita fashion since God was a boy. like, um, and yeah, I've been obsessed with nail polish since I was a little kid. Um, and over the years, working food service jobs, you can't wear nail polish, so I would kind of like dip out of it and then return to it again. And finally, when I stopped working in food service in 2012, I just went whole hog and just dove deep into the nail polish obsession, and it's just been, just one more hobby to take up all of my money and time. So I have a slideshow, so that's always exciting. So added a bear pun last minute, polishing Ursa style. Easy J Fashion nail art DIY. And this is just going to be just a quick intro. As you can see, my base colors are already done. So for the thumbnail, we're doing a galaxy. So you'll want to do a dark color there. On this nail, we're going to do a gradient. So you may want to do your lighter color. A lot of people do white as a base. I do just one of the colors I'm going to do the gradient with. This nail is going to be a twist on a French manicure, so you can do whatever color you would like there. This one is going to be a Dotacure. So again, that's totally up to you. This one I'm basing it on Neon Star Diner. And this one is also going to be a gradient, something kind of cool. You may also wish to go ahead and take your Elmer school glue, or if you are not allergic to latex, go ahead and your liquid latex nail barrier, if you have that, just to help with cleanup, go ahead and paint that around your nails. Begin your base coat process. And while you do that, I'll just go through a very quick PowerPoint, because everyone loves PowerPoints. And here's again the quick rundown of what you may want or need. 2 to 3 creme nail polishes of your choice. That means just a flat wash of color, so no glitters, things like that. You'll want 1 glitter polish as desired. That's where you can kind of play around with bringing that in. 1 fast dry top coat. I do have a couple that I recommend. The one I use personally is Sèche Vite. It's around $7 or so. That is Michigan prices. I don't know if it's probably more expensive in California. I don't know. But you can find this anywhere. Like I've seen it at Rite Aid. You can order it at online, Sally's, etc. Really great stuff. Dries super fast. There's also Northern Lights has out the door top coat, as well as there's of course Hollow Taco by Christine. So she has her indie options. You got some options, but this is the one I always use because it's worked the best for me. You will also want some Q-tips. Everyone knows what these are. Do not put them in your ears, for the love of God. You will also want either bobby pins and or toothpicks. I recommend doing toothpicks, and what I've gone ahead and done is I've actually cut off one end of the toothpick so that I have a little bit bigger of a tip there. And so that way it'll be a little bit easier to kind of get multiple sizes of dots when we go on to do a Dotacure. You will also want your nail polish remover. You can do nail polish, like actually labeled nail polish remover. You can do non-acetone, or I'm hardcore, so I do just straight acetone. All of them are equal. Keep in mind, acetone does dry out the skin, but we'll get to that at about the end. You'll also want a small concealer brush. I had a link for one in the supply list. This is the ELF small concealer brush. It's like $1. You should be able to find these anywhere too. I've found them at like Big Lots and stuff before. And of course, your Elmer school glue. I actually keep mine in a old nail polish bottle that I rinsed out with a little bit of water mixed in just to make it a little bit more spreadable. And so that's what you can use either on your nails directly as like a glitter peel off base coat, or I'm using it around my nails today to kind of help mask to make cleanup easier. So while you do your colors, I'm just going to kind of go over some of the different brands. The ones that most people are familiar with are, of course, our mainstream drugstore brands. So that's all the classics: Wet n Wild, New York Color, Maybelline, Revlon. I would say Revlon is probably one of my personal favorites in terms of drugstore brands. Beautiful colors. They go on like butter. Oh, they're so good. Sally Hansen, Sinful Colors, L'Oreal. Fresh Paint is technically from, what's it called? Five Below. They do some nail polishes, but I'm just lumping them in with drugstore because it's generally like that, like $5 and under range is kind of what this category is for. Sorry, my cat's sticking around behind me. So after that, we have your mainstream salon brands. So that's your OPI, Essie, Zoya, China Glaze, Morgan Taylor, any of the ones where like you'd have to go to a nail shop or things like that. So like Sally's, Ulta, Sephora, or even just straight up going to a nail salon and seeing what you can buy there. These are usually a little bit higher price point. I would say typically between like 8 and 20. Morgan Taylor, I think, is like one of the more expensive ones. There's also a level above it, which I consider like the premium salon brands. So that would be things like your Louboutin, Dior, Chanel, etc. And those can run anywhere from like 20 to 50. So there's a price point for everyone in nail polish, and that's what I really appreciate about it. There's also indie brands. God love the indie brands because they bring it with the creative colors and textures and glitters. I really love indie brands. They are kind of in the middle range. Pipperton, I swear to God. Sorry. They're in the middle range for price points. So you can have them be anywhere from around like $8. That's usually around what KB Shimmer runs for. And I will have links available at the end I can share in the Discord as well. And then you have more expensive ones, such as Tonic can run like between 10 and 15. Enchanted Polish is usually between 12 and 15. There's hundreds. I mean, if I sat here and tried to list them all, like we would never get through the rest of the panel. So just to give you an idea, there's hundreds of indie brands, hundreds of makers, just these small shops that produce nail polish, and they come up with some of the most creative stuff that you're not going to find in a drugstore or even in like a nail salon shop like Ulta. So nail polish doesn't have to be totally crazy. You don't have to go ham with it. You can if you want, but you don't have to. So here we have two examples. We have Misty Sky. Of course, a Misty Sky inspired manicure. Will actually be doing something kind of similar to that today. And then here on the other one, we have just a simple gold manicure to kind of bring out the pops of gold in the jewelry and kind of bring attention to that, to the eye. You can go super glam with it. Sorry, I know some of these pictures are a little bit fuzzy. Like this fine young lady on the left, that's Diana. I love her so much. She's in my comm, and she's like one of the other nail nuts that we have. And so she does these by hand. She has, I think it was Christmas Kumia Market or whatever the print is called. I don't know. And so she does these by hand, these cute little bears on her nails for a fun highlight. Or you can just do something kind of inspired like the picture on the right, which I believe is Miss Asami Moon. So it's sort of like pink, soft, pastel, ties in with her coordinate without just being the print itself. You can do more dotacures, just something to give it a little pop of color, directly referencing the print without actually being the print. Or you can go hard. I believe Brenda, the young lady with the blue nails on the right, I believe she probably used stamping for that. So that's where you literally have an empty plate and you flood it with nail polish, and then you pick it up with a rubber stamp and literally like will stamp your nails. And I'm not good at it, so that's why I didn't bring it up. And I figure it's more tools that we'd have to worry about buying. So we're just gonna skip that and just stick with like stuff you can use around the house. You can even mix and match in acrylics. You can get nails off the rack and kind of mix and match. You can just do flat color. You can add some little gems if you'd like. This is another great one. So we have, again, sort of simple colors, simple designs, but still kind of evoking the concept and the idea of the general look. And this one, on my hand, actually, the red nails, that's actually a thermal polish by Cirque. It's called Rothko Red. So it goes from like a bright red to a dark red. Thermals are really fun. So I really like those because it's an easy way to get like a faux gradient if your nails are long enough. So yeah, you can go crazy with it. And maybe you're like, well, you know, what if my nails are short? You can still do really cute short nails as well. As you can see, this is the lovely Cheyenne on the right here with her little stars and that sort of theme to it. Okay, good. The cat ran. Or you can just do just more pops of color. Still, again, just referencing. Here's more short nails for you. I love the little strawberries she did because I think they're just so cute. And look, hey, we got more bears. Always adorable. Everyone loves bears. That's why we're here. We have I could go for hours about nail polish and nail art. And Brenda did this all by hand. And so I give props to her. I love her. I miss her. She should be home soon. So even just to bring in those colors or bring in some fine details, you can sit. I think she said this look took her like 3 hours, which I believe 100%, because to make those tiny little roses, I thought about doing roses for this, but then I said, nah, we're not going to do roses. Like, it's fine. Nails can change the whole look of your coordinate. They can help glam it up, kind of tie everything together. They can add that little bit of interest, pop of color. So you can see the 2 different moods. Just more short nails. I just have a lot of examples. I asked for examples and people were like, yeah, we'll give examples. I love she's got cute little strawberries on her nails. Again, short nails. So don't be discouraged if you can't grow your nails out. We will kind of talk about that as the panel goes, like things that can help you grow your nails out, get some better length out of them, help them be stronger. Again, just another great example of just a flat wash of color. She found like a damn near dupe, or a DND, as nail polish enthusiasts call it, for the Moati blue. I tried to get close. I don't know if I nailed it. And again, so here, instead of playing with different colors, I played with different textures to go with chest chocolate to, again, kind of bring out that luxe, kind of bring out those pops of gold in the print and in the details. And then here, this was done using what is called the dry brush technique. So I like it because it does look a little bit more grunge. Since the coordinate was sort of punk themed, I kind of wanted to stick more grunge with it and kind of bring that aesthetic into the nail for, again, that visual pop of interest. Here, just some more handwork, kind of evoking the flowers on the skirt. And no, I never clean my sewing room. All right. Like, I can't. No one does it. If they say they do, they're a liar. No one cleans their craft room. You can even just do, again, simple washes of color, but you can do different nails. Not all your nails have to be the same. So here I chose to do what is called a Skittle Mani, because it's multiple colors, all the same, and then did a matte top coat. And so that was to just kind of evoke the colors of Wonder Cookie, one of my favorite prints, and kind of bring that out onto my nails without overloading what I was doing. I could have probably sat and drawn like cookies, but like, come on. And again, just here, this is showcasing an accent nail. So it's just showing I did some glitter placement to try and get almost like a beehive look. That was kind of the theme of this coordinate, was bees, because we were going to try honey toast and then the place was closed. So whatever. And so at the end of the day, when you do all of this and when you clean your nails and your skin off with the acetone, the most important thing that will help with your nail health and help you with your nail growth is going to be your hand, nail, and cuticle care. And that also comes in kind of like 3 price points, you could say. For just basic everyday moisturizing, especially right now, since we've all been sanitizing and washing our hands extra, I really recommend the Vaseline Healthy Hands Stronger Nails. It's like $3 a tube at Walmart. You really only need like a pea-sized amount. It sinks in fast. It's not super greasy. When I'm feeling a little more splurgy, I'll do OPI. Their Avoplex creams and lotions, or Avo Juice is their other line. And that's also, it sinks in real fast. It doesn't leave the skin feeling like super like wet or sticky, because that's the key. Like, I can't stand that sticky hand nonsense. It drives me nuts. And of course, a lot of the indie brands will also do hand and body lotion. I actually have like a hand like sugar scrub, which I think can kind of help with your cuticles. Especially if your hands are dry a lot. As it was stated in the previous panel, obviously your hands are part of your skin, which is the largest organ in your body. So we're going to go back to, hammering it into you guys to hydrate. I don't care if you have to drink like tea, water, lemon water, I don't care, but hydrate your body, whether that's drinking water or using lotions, moisturizers of some sort. Find what works for you and use it. And this will help your nails grow longer as well, because the reason they break is because they're dry and brittle. So instead of being able to, let me do it here, flex with pressure like my nails can do, they're just going to crack. Another tip, never use nail clippers unless absolutely necessary. If you need to shorten your nails, always use multiple grades of emery boards and buff them down to your desired length. Clipping essentially shocks the fibers of the nail and it can cause microfractures that will worsen over time. If you work a very physical job, that too, keep your hands moisturized before and after work as much as you can. Get a pair of work gloves. I actually do a lot of work right now where I'm stocking a lot, and so I'm constantly touching cardboard, which you don't realize how much it just sucks the moisture out of your skin. But putting on a good pair of work gloves, you can get like a cheap pair at Harbor Freight or whatever for like $3-4. They're just like rubberized gloves. It not only helps you grip the boxes better, but it helps protect your hands and nails from getting dried out and roughed up. I don't recommend cuticle nippers or pushing your cuticles back. I've never used them, but I feel like it's one of those things where like if you start cutting away at that skin, if you cut too deep around the dead skin into like the living skin, you're just going to give that moisture an exit and you're just going to keep making your problem worse. So I strongly recommend get a decent cuticle cream, hand cream, cuticle oil pens. I have links for those. Sadly, originally I was going to really recommend Lush and their Lemony Flutter cuticle cream because I love it. However, Lush has been messing around and they passed out a bunch of anti-union propaganda to their North American employees. So Lush is on the do not buy list. So we're done with Lush. They're canceled. So sorry, I get heated about that sort of thing. So that's just kind of the rundown. Many thanks to my wonderful comments. Let me get my drink. Hold on. I ranted about Lush. Now I need a drink. So, all right. So that was rapid fire. Let me stop sharing that screen. All right. Yes, Zoya is amazing. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments. I'm super mad at Lush. Yes, Burt's Bees Lemon Cuticle Cream was recommended as a dupe for it. So I do recommend Burt's Bees. They haven't pulled any shit as far as I know, but the second they do, they're on the list. They're off. They're done. All right, so let's relax and paint our nails. Yeah, jojoba oil is great. Anything that stays oil. If you're not allergic to nuts, which I know a lot of people tend to be, almond oil is very nice. OPI has what is called their, what do the kids call it? Their Avaplex line, which I mentioned. And they have cuticle oil pens, which are literally like to go. They're just like little screw top, little squishy tubes, almost like chapstick or something. And it comes out on a little brush, and then you just brush it around your cuticles. And that's great for just doing like a little touch up throughout the day. All right. So as said before, we are going to do a galaxy nail here because it's Ursa Major. So for that, you are going to need, we're going to kind of jump around from each nail because each one is going to need a little bit of dry time in between. So we're going to need your Cosmetic wedge, and I grabbed a fresh one. And then we're going to need our 2 lighter colors. So I have these blues here, and this is Berry M. I think it's a UK brand. I've always bought it online. I like it. They have some nice colors. I don't have a lot, but I like the bottle shape. And this is Maybelline Poolside. It's a very, very, very light blue. It actually looks a little bluer in the camera than it is, but I really like this one. And so what we're going to do here, since we're doing Galaxy, I'm going to start with the darker blue here because we're going to go for a little depth. And we're just going to, I'm going to use the fat end here. I'm going to save the thin end for when I have to do my gradient. Let that sink into your wedge for a second. And then just, then you'll see like over time, like you just got to keep going back and forth. This is kind of like, it's Bob Ross with nail polish and swearing. So you just, yeah, dab, 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 make it more fab. Simply's coming for me. She's going to copyright strike me. Sorry, guys. And we'll get on that little light one there. We'll keep them kind of separated. And we're just going to go in just real light. Happy little trees. And this is nice because you can just like do whatever you want. Do it however you want. You want to do all purple Galaxy? Go for it. You want to do something a little more chill, you want to do like an actual galaxy, you want to do like reds and greens and oranges, like do it up. I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy about nail polish is because it's art, and it's art that you can take with you, is what I really love. So now I've just added a little bit more of the dark blue that I used originally as the background, because we're going to go back in and knock out, sorry, some of these rougher edges, kind of make it look a little more scattered. So you can see it's starting to look, yeah, a little bit cloudy, a little bit misty. And we're going to let that pupper kind of dry up a little bit while we move on to the next one. But as I'm sure a lot of you probably know and probably feel the same, it's difficult in Lolita fashion because of the sizing. And as a professional fatty, I am right there with you. And I understand that, you know, it's discouraging because so few items are made for your size. And that has, like, it's gotten so much better. It really has. There's custom sizing, like Meta is slaying with their options. But it's still hard. And it may be, you know, especially for ultra tall girls, there's not a lot of tall girl options. We're going to go into our French manicure with a twist. We're going to use a little white polish. We're just going to kind of free ball it on the tip here, but that's okay. Do it shorter than you think you would want, because we're going to add some decoration. This is going to be kind of like a lace pattern for my classics. And just go slow. The white I'm using is Sinful Colors, which I think is a really nice white. There. Oh, this is looking real good. Hell yeah. However, nail polish is one of those things that can fit everyone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I always grip my nail polish bottle like that. Nail polish, literally, it fits everyone. If you have nails, congratulations, you can wear nail polish. I think too, it can be really helpful for people who, are just struggling. I think for me, nail polish helps me so much when I'm having a rough day, even if a look might not turn out entirely how I expect it to. It still helps me quite a bit. And just to sit and relax, I put on a video or something to listen to. You can do a podcast, you can do music. And I just kind of listen to it and just kind of, just let my mind wander and just kind of let all of my worries kind of float away while I just focus on making 10 little arts. That's not the word I want. You know what? You know what I mean. I'm just going to ramble for an hour and a half. So, all right. So we've got the tip, just the tip. We're going to leave this guy alone for a minute, but we are going to do a gradient. I'm going to start placing dots on this guy with my solid white, and I will explain why in a bit. And then this guy, we'll do this guy last. Sorry, we'll do the pinky last. So you should have a sort of placemat. If you can get a silicone mat at the dollar store from for food placemats, things like that, as long as it's silicone, you can use it as a nail polish placemat and the nail polish will peel right up. It's also useful if you want to, let's say you have an idea for a crazy design for all of your nails, but you've got your dominant hand and your non-dominant hand, and it just sounds like a big ask of your non-dominant hand to do that much precision work. So what you can do is, and you can do this on Ziploc bags too, is you can actually paint out swaths of color. You have to do this a day or two in advance because it has to dry. And then you can draw out your design with your nail polish. And from there, you can just peel it up and basically treat it like a nail decal. It can be like your own color street, but it's not an MLM, so it's even better. So the reason why I'm laying down some white dots on this dark pink for our Dotacure is because my plan is to go in and add my light pink that's on my index on top of it. And when you go from a dark color like that to a light color, especially even things like black to red, anything where you're working in that way, it's best to give a white base for your colors so that they can actually pop and stand out. So I'm going to be doing a lighter pink on that. And I'm also going to be doing a yellow. So I'm just going to kind of go ahead and lay down some dots to just kind of help and create essentially a negative space area for those different colors. So I'm going to let those dots dry up a little bit. And I'm sorry, I know we're kind of bouncing all over the place, but that's, who doesn't want a little chaotic energy, you know? So we're going to start doing the gradient on our index here. And I'm going in with this purple. It's just a really lovely, they call it Good to Grape. Love the name, love the puns, I'm all about it. And let's see if I can actually like unscrew the cap here. And again, we're gonna go over here with this guy, I think. Yeah. And what's nice too about cosmetic wedges is once you have like a chunk, once it's dried up, you can just cut it off and then just use the rest. So we're going to start. Oh yeah, she's going to need some few coats here. I'll try to. It's too bright. No. See, we're just starting to get, come on. There you go. And you're just going to keep that lid uncapped and you're just going to kind of keep going in. And you want to be careful when you're doing a gradient like this because you do run the risk of smudging or picking up the underlayers as you reintroduce those solvents. So it's just something where you got to be careful. Sometimes I'll even straight up I'll just paint right on the nail with my other color. It's very trial and error. Thank you. Let's see, I just picked it all back up. Gradients are the devil. Why did I think this was a good idea? Let's do a gradient. It's never a problem. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I'm going to let that dry up for a minute. And everything works different for every person as well. Yeah, see, I'm just picking it up because I'm not letting it dry. Good job, Denise. But yeah, nail polish fits everyone. Did I write a script? Nah, it's fine. Even for, in my experience, because nail polish is typically seen as such a very feminine pursuit, what's the Marco's way? I feel like it can be a nice tool for trans women to help feel more feminine, or for non-binary people who may be feeling feminine that day, want to present a little bit more feminine. I'm going to have to look that up for sure. And because it's still a feminine pursuit. However, there's nothing stopping men or people assigned male at birth from going and buying nail polish. It's like the one thing, no one's going to give you, they might look at you a little weird, but ultimately they're going to ignore it, forget about it. And because you can order it online, you don't even have to deal with people kind of being like, huh, that's weird. Why is a guy buying nail polish? Never mind that nail polish has so many uses. If you know anyone who does Warhammer 40K, nail polish can make an excellent model paint because it's cheap. It comes in a billion colors and finishes. And because you can use it on just about anything. Even my brother, he's kind of I love him, but he's the picture of toxic masculinity. He's straight up asked me before if I had any nail polish I was getting rid of, because he does a lot of competitive fishing, and fishermen will actually decorate lures extra with nail polish because it's bright and glittery, and because once it dries, it's fairly water resistant. And that can be incredibly helpful as well. Let's do another gradient. Let me grab my black. Do a goth gradient for my goths. And even then, there has been UFC fighters frequently will have their toenails painted black. And it's because when they're fighting in the ring, the nail polish actually helps create a sort of shield and barrier so that if their feet get stomped on by their opponent, it helps protect their toenails from cracking or damaging. So anyone who tries to act like nail polish is gendered or just for girls or shameful can suck it, in my opinion, because nail polish is for everyone. If it makes you happy, do it. Who cares? All right, we're just going in with that black on that blue. And that's just how it should be. If it makes you happy and it doesn't hurt anyone, then just do it. Like, paint your nails. Who cares? Just do your tones, you know? Yes. Try the hollow nail polish with your finger. It might work, it might not. I don't know. All right, so let's go back. We're going to backtrack a little bit. We're going to go to our dot of cure here. We're going to go in. And you don't even have to be good at nail polish. You can just, and there's such a small barrier of entry. Like I said, like I find nail polish everywhere, y'all. Like you can go to Big Lots and there's constantly affordable, inexpensive nail polish. You can go to, I found nail polish at like Best Buy before. Like straight up, they had like just a display carton of Essie. And I was like, why is there nail polish here? And then I bought some because why not? So I've got just a little bleb of my yellow polish. It will dry fast on the mat. I'm not going to lie to you. So like once you bleb, you got to use it kind of quick because it'll start to gel up and then it'll wreck your mani. I'm just going to go in with my flat side here. And we're just going to do it on top of that. There you go. And do it here. And you're not pressing. You're just kind of letting that little dot of nail polish kind of land. And you're just going to let that sit a minute. Bake that shit for a minute. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, gel polish it's amazing, and it's also the devil. And what I really appreciate about gel polish is you can just buy a gel polish top coat in the light, and then you don't have to rebuy all of your nail polish. It's a total game changer. So I really appreciate that. I'm going to get a new bleb of white here. This nail, like I said, it's going to be inspired by Neon Star Diner. There's like a dark pink colorway that's kind of cool. But we're going to go to our middle nail with our lace. The only problem I have with gel polish is that it does not mess around. Gel polish does not, it won't come off. You're all like, okay, gel polish, I'm done. I want to redo my nails. And gel polish is like, oh no, I'm here forever. So what you have to do with the gel top coats and the gel polish is once you've baked them, you literally have to go in with like a super low grit emery board. I'm shaking a little bit, sorry. And like literally like break down that barrier of the top coat. You literally have to like buff it down and kind of break into it. And then you can soak it away with acetone. Yeah, like gel polish is like, it's you and me now, baby. We're in this together. Like gel polish, it's great if you're doing something for the weekend and you don't want to risk any like chips or anything. I could definitely see gel nail polish having some promise in that way. But I've only done it once and I was like, okay, I'm not ready for this level of commitment. God help me. So what I've done here is using the flat little broken bit of my toothpick. I just kind of went in and did some scallops. I did the center one first, and then I go on either side. Yeah, black nail polish, it is kind of pricey. I just use the Sally Hansen Blackout. I know Hollow Taco has a one coat black. It's okay. China Glazed Liquid Leather is decent too. And that's one of the other ones that's like, it's a one coat black. In my opinion, you should never do just one coat of nail polish. You should always do at least 2, potentially 3. And that's kind of something that you have to make the decision yourself when you're painting your nails. So, for example, like this light pink on the gradient, that was like 4 or 5 coats just because it was such a sheer polish. So it did take me a while to really get in there. I'm actually going to touch up that gradient a little bit because it's bugging me. It's okay. All things will be fixed in time. But for some other polishes like Revlon and just random ones, you'll find random ones where just like there's enough packed into the formula that you can do one coat. Like the blue I did on the pinky. Bro, quit coming in, fucking cat. It was like a one coater, which was amazing, but I did 2 just because. Yes, thick nails save lives. Thick thighs save lives, thick nails save lives. Because it does add that barrier, again, of protection. All right. So I'm just going to kind of let the team sit. We've been ignoring my poor thumbnail. It's feeling kind of lonely. We've got some wet white nail polish, so we're going to go back in with that. And we are going to draw the Big Dipper, which I was going to do the Ursa Major constellation, but I don't have a big enough nail for that. My nails are 1.25 inches. So I was like, I'm just going to do the important part and do the Big Dipper. So, and I'm going to do it going this way. And you can do little dots however you want. I was going to do a glitter placement for this, but it didn't really turn out. So instead I'm like, I'll just do white dots. They'll get it. You can see I'm getting some little wispies. And that's because the nail polish is starting to set up. And so you'll see it's almost like very fine hairs kind of coming off of the nail polish. So that's why it's important to work quickly if you're going to do anything with dots. So there we've got our little dotacure there. The Big Dipper, kind of, mostly. And we're going to leave that alone again for a minute. All right. So we're going to go... No, you know what? We'll go back in with our gradient here. We'll grab our colors. Our pink and our purple. We're going to switch to a new side here. So what I like to do, what has really helped me a lot in my nail polish journey in terms of getting like good length is not only hydrating, but I swear by my base coat. And it is the OPI Nail Envy Nail Strengthener. And it's honestly amazing. Like a lot of those things where it's like, makes your nails super long, helps them grow. You know, you read it and you're like, I mean, maybe, but it's also kind of like, I think you're sus. I don't think you actually help. Dude, this nail strengthener, like it is worth it. It's expensive. It's $17 a bottle. So you can usually find it at TJ Maxx. You can find it on sale for like 10, which I highly recommend. But it's amazing. It's been amazing for my nails. Like it's helped them grow so long and it's helped them stay nice and thick. Like I highly recommend it. If you want to invest, if you want to get more serious about doing your nails, definitely look into it because I can't sing its praises enough. So here I've got my 2 colors kind of buttered up next to each other, doing it old school. And we're just going to kind of, because you're trying to blend it all. And it's okay if it's not like a perfectly smooth gradient. I've got some tricks. Don't worry. That pink is probably going to need a lot of help because it is a fairly watery pink. That was just because OPI was like, here, have a watery half-assed pink nail polish. But that's on them. That's their decision as a business. If they want to give me like a shitty pale pink nail polish, that's fine. They have every right to do me dirty like that. Okay, so then we kind of went up into the, and it's just working it back and forth. You know, it's worth it. You just got to work it. Put your thing down, flip it, or reverse it. And try not to smudge it on any of your other bottles because then you'll cry. And it's funny because in the last panel, if you watch the skincare and makeup panel, she did mention expiration dates. And all cosmetics are required by law to have an expiration date on them. You know, it's just so they can say, if you use this manky ass nail polish or eyeshadow or whatever, when you've had it for 6 years and you get an eye infection, you can't come for us because you held on to it like way too long because it was your favorite, even though you never wear makeup. So as a requirement, all nail polish, if you look at the back, I'll grab my Berry M bottle here. It has that little cosmetic symbol. And on most nail polish, I believe it's like 2 to 3 years, they say, is how long it stays good for. And I am here to tell you that that is false. That is 100% a lie. It is perpetuated by Big Manny to get you to keep buying nail polish and getting rid of all your beautiful vintage nail polishes. Granted, nail polish does and does not go bad. It will eventually, it'll kind of like dry up. It'll lose some of its viscosity over time. However, there is a cure for that, and it is not adding acetone. Do not add nail polish remover to your nail polish. You will destroy the solvents, and you will be very sad. Instead, what you have to do is you have to buy what is called nail polish thinner. It's available at Sally's. It's essentially a nail polish base. It's just a plain base. It's just a plain solvent. And you just add a little bit, just a little bit at a time to your bottle. Nana, are you serious right now? And you just shake the hell out of it and try to get it to all mix up again. Honey, I'm in the middle of something. Ask Jason. And it will revitalize your nail polish really easily. Especially, I find that glitters tend to dry out really quick. Dude, right? I'm like nowhere near Christine's level, but I think I have close to 1100. I don't know. And nail polish thinner is the way. My cat's yelling at me. I don't know what she wants. She's gonna have to deal. So we got kind of a cool messy gradient going on there. So yes, buy nail polish thinner. For the love of God, do not use acetone. Okay. What's my favorite overall or general polish brand? Okay, that is a great question. I love questions. Overall, I'll break it down by category to start. For drugstore, Revlon, hands down. They have great colors. They have great formula. Their brush shape, which you think like every brush is the same. It's not. Like there is a difference. Just really great. Makes a huge difference. I love them. They're creamy. I have quite a few of them. For salon, that sort of mid-range, I would say OPI is definitely top tier. And then I also do really appreciate Zoya. I don't wear them super often or buy them a lot, but they do have a lot of great colors. And all of their nail polishes have like people names instead of puns. And I do own Zoya Denise, and it's actually a really nice color, so I lucked out. It's like a red with gold shimmer, and I love it. And then in terms of indie brands, it kind of goes around and around for me. For a while, I really liked Tonic Polish. But then, I mean, they kind of got in over their head. They kind of like blew up a little too hard. And so I just felt like every release was kind of like the same after a while. And so I kind of fell out of love with them, which makes me a little sad because I did really like them. But that's okay. They still release some great stuff now and again. So current indie that I really enjoy is Glam Polish. They make beautiful collections. They have a ton of great colors, decent price point. They're at around like $12.50. And they're constantly just doing like really cool, unique things. So I really appreciate them as a brand. But if I had to pick one over all of them, oh God, it's like Sophie's Choice. It would probably have to be, I think it would have to be Glam Polish for sure. Obviously, for my little Lush rant, I care deeply about supporting small makers, small designers. And as far as nail polish goes, Glam isn't like overhyped. I think they give really good colors. So what I'm doing here is I'm going back to that Neon Star Diner Cure, and I'm going to my white dots. And I'm sorry about the color balance. I know it's hard to tell. Now I've decanted a little bit of that light pink, and I'm just going in on that white. There we go. And I'm going to go, where's my next chopped one? There we go. So we're starting to get that. We're going to go in with our bold blue. And we're just going to decant a little bit. So yeah, nail polish does not expire. It does, but it doesn't. It will eventually dry up. It will kind of go bad. You can thin it out. You may even have to go as far as like straight up finding suspension base if it's a glitter polish and kind of re-adding that as well. I'm going to pull this camera down a little bit. There you go. But I've never personally done that. I don't know. I don't have enough glitters where that's really an issue, or I just use the thinner. But I mean, there have been women, I'm in a group for vintage nail polish collectors. And there are women who are like, hey, I found this box of my grandma's nail polish in the attic that's been up since 1948. And yeah, it was all dried out. I opened it up. I added some thinner and it's good as new. And that's crazy to me that you can do that. And we're just going to go kind of ham with these dots, just wherever. So we added that blue. We're going to add a little purple too. Why not? I mean, there's even been, I know, what was it? Frida Kahlo's apartment was sealed for like 50 years or something. And she wore nail polish and she had nail polish bottles in her apartment, obviously. And I don't know. They didn't have a nail polish enthusiast, so she didn't check, and she should have checked to see if it was still good. Because I bet you add some thinner, and then you're all good to go. You got Frida Kahlo nail polish. So now we're going in with our little bit of purple here, and you can do these dots however you want. Just adds a little bit of chaotic energy here. There we go. We'll go back to our blue. Try and remember which tool is which. If you get more serious about wanting to do dotted cures and doing nail polish and things, I do recommend looking into proper dotting tools. It'll make your life a lot easier. I wanted to avoid using my tools so that I could do this with the sort of at-home stuff with you guys, so that it's not like, well, you guys can use toothpicks, but I'm going to use like my entire kit that I've been assembling for like 5 years. So, okay, how long do you wait between coats? Excellent question. I find it depends. Coats and designs like dots. Too soon, too long, mess up the paint job. I know, I hate that. So a lot of the trick to that is also technique. When I'm doing my flat color, and I'm going to start working on the French manicure here. Grab my Revlon Brilliant Strength. When it comes to your flat color, usually your first coat is pretty quick to dry. So usually I give it like a minute. Like by the time I'm done doing a first coat on all of them, it's like maybe another minute or 5 to do the next one. It really depends on how thickly you lay the coats down, which thinner is always better for nail polish, not for people. And just the actual like humidity in your room. Like if you're in a more humid environment like Hawaii, it may actually take longer because there's more water vapor in the air that's keeping the nail polish wet. So that is a huge factor to consider. Anything like that, but do thinner coats. I find for this, I did cheat and I did the flat coats, did like 2 to 3 coats each and just kind of played with it a little bit. You'll want to work on technique as well. You're not trying to actually like brush and smudge like you would when actually like painting a canvas. Instead, what you want to do is you want to get enough polish flooded into the bristles of the brush, and then you're floating it. So you're not smudging the bristles into your nail coat. You're just floating it. It takes a little time, but you'll get used to it. You just got to practice with all things. So we're going to do kind of a fun little lace design here. So I've blubbed out some of my green. And this might turn out, this might not. That's okay. Because you know what? We're just having fun here. We're going to do... And you want to do that with your top coat as well. I usually, with Sèche Vite, you actually are not supposed to wait and let it dry before applying because it can lead to shrinkage. It'll actually like shrink it away from the edge of your nail. Honestly, I don't care that much about that, so I do it anyway. Take the fine point of your toothpick and just kind of dab a little bit. Just barely touching. Just barely. Barely. Because it's Ursa Major, get it? And so it's just all in technique and just getting used to doing it. Make sure to get enough top coat on the bristles and then float it. So you'll see, like, as you kind of hold it over the nail, you'll see that there's just a little bit of a bubble. We biffed that one, that's okay. And then you want to lay down that drop of top coat or base coat or whatever, and then just gently float. So the bristles are just kind of like a current almost. The bristles are directing a current of nail polish over your nail as opposed to like actually brushing on like painting anything else. All right, so I'm going to switch back to the big side here. And I'm going to add a big blub there. And you can see it's a little messy. That's okay. Just get a little bit extra polish on there. Dab it back down. Same with this boy. And we're just winging it today. I did do a practice, and I did the lace nail a little differently, and it looked terrible. So this is looking a lot better. The cats are freaking out. I don't know what their damage is. They're mad I'm ignoring them. So here we can see sort of evocative of lace. You can play with it a lot. There's a lot of different things that you can do to get different looks. You don't have to do the stamping. You can do what I would do. What have I always done? Nail vinyls. So if you have a buddy who has a Cricut, or if you can get access to one, etc., or if you don't want to go that hard, you can just straight up buy nail vinyls. And they're literally just vinyl stickers. They go onto your nail, and then you paint over them, and then you peel away the sticker, and it leaves a design. So it just helps create a mask on your nail. There's a few, like, you can find it anywhere. Like, that's the insane thing about nail polish. Like I said, the financial barrier for entry to nail polish is so small. And even to get the tools, like a lot of my shit, I just go on eBay, and I just go ham on eBay. Like, I get a set of dotting tools. It's like $5 or $10, and you get all these different sizes. You can get a ton of nail vinyl designs. I really like Vibrant Vinyls. They also do some nail care stuff. Thank you. And so that's who I recommend. They do a lot of different designs, and it's really fun. It's really fun stuff. So I do recommend nail vinyls if you're really intimidated about doing a complicated design. It's super easy. The one trick is you will want to lay down your top coat before doing a vinyl and let it dry fully. So that's why I like the Seishuit, because I know it takes about like 10 minutes to dry. And then once that, then you do your vinyl, and then you do your design, and then you peel it up and do another layer of top coat, because that'll help to kind of seal everything in. So I'm just going in with my black and blue on what I'm affectionately calling my moitié nail, because that's what inspired it. We're just kind of going all over. And I did apply some Elmer's glue first. And that's so I can go back in and kind of peel that up. So yeah, the lace tip did turn out pretty good that time. It turned out a lot better this time. It was kind of, I used too dark of a green the first time. And sometimes that'll happen. You get started on a design and you look at it and you're like, oh, I hate it. So what I do is I buy like a bunch of nail swatch sticks. And again, eBay, super cheap. Buy a bunch. You can get like 500. You can get them in all sorts of different configurations, and then practice on those. If there's something crazy you want to do, or if you're not sure about a color combination, or say you want to layer like, you know, a sheer polish or something over a different polish, and just to see what kind of effect it gives, like give yourself some practice. Or again, if you pick up that silicone mat at the dollar store, use that as your practice, because you can just wipe it clean real easy with nail polish remover. I'm not sure how silicone does with acetone. I haven't tried, but be careful. All right, so we're just going in, doing a little dab, dab, dab. And again, gradients are all about building it back and forth. And once, even if it looks a little rough, once I throw a top coat on it, that helps actually smooth out gradients a lot, is your top coat. When in doubt, do a top coat. So we'll get just a little bit more on here. Thank God I said 90 minutes. I was going to say 2 hours. Then they were like, the max is 90 minutes. I was like, okay, I got this. So yeah, and we're going back in with that blue. And don't get discouraged if you're doing nail art and you're like, I made a giant mess of my nails and cuticles. All nail artists make some sort of mess. Like with time and with practice, yeah, of course you're going to get better at it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm good with that. As you practice and build up that fine motor control, especially in your non-dominant hand. So when I'm painting with my left hand, I've gotten good enough at the fine motor control to be able to paint my nails without thrashing them. But I still will go in afterwards. I still have to do a little bit of cleanup with acetone and the small brush. All right, so moitié nail is done. Lace nail is done. Dotacure is done. Galaxy nail, not quite yet. And we're going to do a little bit more pink on the Misty Sky nail, because it is inspired by the Misty Sky colorway. I think it's their Brilliant colorway, they call it. So I tried to do a little bit something for all flavors of Lolita enthusiasts. Tried to bring in some goth, tried to bring in some sweet, tried to bring in a little classic. And it's all about just practice and control, just like with everything. And nail art can be a fantastic deal breaker too. Like you can start up a conversation with I've started up conversations with complete strangers, like in the store, because they've liked my nail polish, want to talk more about it. Like, you know, like nail polish breaks all barriers, you guys. Nail polish is going to save the world, for reals. But yeah, even whatever your concern is, nail polish cures everything. Unless your problem is acetone brain, which I don't think is a thing, but it might be a thing. I think the common symptoms are rambling uselessly about nail polish for 50 minutes. It's fine. So this is what I like to do. I do my nails usually once a week, every 7 to 10 days. And I'll just sit down and I'll do like flat color, or if I'm feeling kind of festive, I'll add some glitters things. I used to do a lot more. And I found it was when I was in a farm where...
I don't know that one.
No one's talking to you. And I found that it was because it was a stressful job that nail polish was kind of my stress relief, because I could kind of tune out the world a little bit and just focus on making this miniature art that I could carry. For like I have 2 nephews who are great. So my sister does a themed party for their birthdays every year. And so like, I think the last one we attended, because we didn't attend last year, the theme was Pokemon. So I straight up did like Pokemon nails. I did like a different type of Pokemon ball, like on each nail. And they loved it. They actually asked me to do it on their nails too, which was really sweet. So what are we going to do here? I'm actually going to add a little bit to the middle nail here. And I'm going to need a bunch of white. And this is when we're also going to get our Q-tips involved. I'm going to let my pink and purple gradient, my Misty Sky gradient, kind of chill for just a second. And I'm going to bleb out some white here. And I'm going to see if I can recreate what is called the lanula on the nail. So if you look at your bare nails, you may see that you have like a little bit of white, like a white semicircle at the base of your nail. And that is called the lanula. And I'm not 100% sure like what it, I'm not a nail scientist. I'm not like a nail doctor. I just cover them in caustic solvents once a week and call it good. But you may have it, you may not. According to the scientists who do study these things, it doesn't super matter if you have it, I guess. Like, it's okay if you don't, but it is something to keep an eye on. Your nails can actually tell you a lot about your general health. As we covered earlier, keeping hydrated, your nails will reflect if you're not hydrated enough. Your cuticles, at least for me anyway, my cuticles start to degrade. I get a lot more dry skin around my nails. I'm just going to go back in here. Just create like a quick little lace pattern. So I start to notice I have more dry skin. I've got like more like hangnails, more peelies. Do not peel the peelies. Like if you have to, like trim them down. Yeah. In the 40s when they first started inventing like colorful nail polish in the 40s. Like that's when they figured out the technology. They figured out the nuclear bomb and colorful nail polish at the same time. And so this was a common manicure to do, was to like recreate your lanula, do kind of a negative space thing. I'm going to keep losing my train of thought, but that's okay. But yeah, so like if you're drying out, that's an easy way to tell. We're going to go into our white with our Q-tip now. We're going to create some fluffy little clouds here. Even the tips of your nail like your nail beds, you can keep an eye on them. They should be like sort of pinkish, much like our beloved Simply Nail Logical. I have fairly like yellowish nails, and that's just from staining from doing my nails so much over the years. Because even with my base coat, you're still going to get some pigment deposit from your nails into your actual nail surface. Lanula, thank you. Yeah, I only have them on my thumbs now. I used to have them on all my nails. Now I only have them on my thumbs. And I was like, huh, whatever. That's weird, I guess. So, but yeah, as Simply Nailogical has covered, I should have just invited her. I don't talk to her. I don't know how I could have. It's not a big deal to have yellow or orange nails, especially if you do your nail polish a lot, because it's just pigmentation being deposited over time. Like a common question in a lot of nail polish groups is, like, does this nail polish stain? What's the best stain resistant top coat? Oh, these clouds are turning out pretty tits, you guys. And it doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't really affect anything. Now, if you don't paint your nails and you notice your nails start to change color, if they're redder, or if they're paler, or if they start to turn like blue, or just all sorts of weird things, you can tell the health of your nails. Then I would at least like mention it to a medical professional, like, hey, my nails are blue and not because I painted them. It's important to keep an eye on your health. You want to do more to that nail? That's fine. And your nails are an easy way to kind of like check on your health and sort of monitor it and say, ooh, is that supposed to be like that? I don't know. So let me dab. So earlier we had talked a little bit about my favorite brands, what I would recommend, etc. Kind of. I'm going to talk about a brand I do not recommend. And I hope y'all are holding on tight to your teacups, because I'm going to spill mine. Once upon a time, there was an indie brand called Mentality Polish. And people really liked their products. I'm just adding some small white dots to the Galaxy nail here. However, there suddenly became reports after a while of people's nails lifting from the nail bed. And if you're not familiar with nail anatomy, which I'm not much either, I looked up like one thing on Wikipedia. The nail bed is literally like that pink layer under your nail. So it's the base of your nail. That is what actually helps grow into the nail and support it. It's that little tender bit. Like if you jam like a toothpick in there, don't do that for the love of God. But if you jam a toothpick in there, like that's the part that bleeds, because that's your nail bed. That's the tender part. That's what your nail is protecting. And people were noticing that their nails were suddenly peeling away from their nail beds, like all the way down to the cuticle, or to the nail matrix, which is underneath your skin right at the base of the cuticle. And they were like, what the fuck? Because anyone who would see that they're losing their nails would be quite alarmed. And eventually it was traced back to this brand Mentality nail polish. Like, bro, your products are destroying our nails. And I don't know if you've ever like lost a nail, like straight up like had the nail itself come off because of trauma. Like usually like a badly stubbed toe, you'll lose your nail. We're going to go into that Galaxy manicure with our little scattered hollow top coat. So people went to Mentality nail polish. But if you've ever lost a nail, like you can tell, it gets white, it peels up. Eventually you can just pop it off. Like I've lost a big toenail before. It was gruesome. It was great. Do not recommend. And people were like, we haven't done any trauma, so what the hell? So they went to Mentality nail polish. They were like, you need to start pulling your product. You need to start issuing refunds and warning people like, hey, my nail polish is ruining your lives. And at first things went fine. So they started issuing refunds. They were like, we don't know what happened. It was the base we used. We didn't do anything weird or different, you guys. I don't know. But just kind of trying to cover up. Like, we use the same base that Zoya does or someone else. It might have been Orly, which is a salon brand. They tried to pin the blame on. Like, we use their same base. We don't know what the problem is. And after about 30,000 USD in refunds, the owner was like, we've refunded as much as we can. If we refund any more, like, I'm going to go completely bankrupt. So, at this point, like, it's something else that you're doing wrong, and it's not our product. And we've never had complaints like this, and like tried to reverse victim offender. Y'all. So people went off. All the nail polish groups on the internet were lighting up, like, dump your Mentality nail polish. Get rid of it. It's done. Excommunicado. It is ruined. And these were people who not only painted their nails for fun, but a lot of them were professional nail swatchers. I'm going to add more hollow. I'm sorry. I love it. So this was literally their jobs being sabotaged because of someone's faulty product. I'm doing hollow on all of these. If you want to do a hollow scatter top coat, just go for it. Your body will thank you. And so in the end, Mentality refunded about $30K, which apparently was not everyone. And they shut their doors. And then the owner, when did I put this away? The owner wrote a book, y'all. The owner wrote a book ranting at length about, you know, the demonization of small businesses and the clickiness of nail polish groups on Facebook and how they attack, you know, poor independent business owners who are just trying to make an honest living. I am not kidding. The audacity of this person to do this. So that didn't go over well. People were mad. And it was incredible. Oh my God, I couldn't even. So never buy Mentality nail polish because it will ruin your nails. Oh yeah, we added that hollow shit. Yes. It was and I get like sometimes shit happens. You know, businesses do have problems. That's why they have like liability insurance. Like that's a key part of running a business is to cover your ass in that way. But it was like, he didn't even care after a certain point. He was like, you're all just making stuff up. I don't believe you. Blah, blah, blah. It's not our fault. Why the internet mean? So, yeah. Oh, so the hollow top coat I'm using, there's a lot of brands. This one in particular is Revlon. It's their Transforming Effects Holographic Pearls. Yeah, I also recommend Fairy Dust by China Glaze. That's one that you can find really easily. A solid top coat. So here's the one that I'm using right now. That's my Sèche Vite. And you're going to see, I'm going to get like a good bleb on here. It's easier with a fresh bottle, but, and just like before, so we're floating, not brushing into the polish, just floating on top. And that should help really minimize any of your streaky boys. I do let my polish set up a little bit before I do the Sèche Vite. I don't care about tip wear. Like, it's just my life. Again, for Sèche Vite, I recommend actually, I don't like Amazon. I haven't been shopping from them because Bezos can eat it, but you can get like refill kits. So it's like a 6-ounce bottle of Sèche Vite, and then it's like a little like half-ounce polish bottle. So it's one of these and a big refill bottle. And it's like $15. And it lasts for a long time. Like even when I was doing my nail polish twice a week, it lasted me for quite a few years doing that. So I do recommend that. Again, we're just going over. Oh, good. I still got a little time. And even back to the Mentality thing real quick, because this was amazing. So the brand Zoya, which I really respect and appreciate, that I've talked about before, they do a deal every year around Earth Day where they're like, hey, because their nail polish is 9-free, vegan, like very like high quality. And I'll get into that in a second. And so they're like, hey, send us a bunch of your crappy old nail polishes and buy 3 free and just pay shipping. And shipping is like $5-6. Zoya is about $9 to $10 a bottle. So $2 a polish ain't much. And even if you don't send them any of your old nail polish, if you just order the free ones, they're fine with it. They don't care because, you know, they believe in their product and believe that it is good enough that even if they lose a little money doing that, the quality of their colors and formula will bring you back for more. So the Mentality thing blows up. And Zoya came in clutch and was like, hey, if you're having issues with any of your nail polishes where it's causing you distress and you want to safely be able to get rid of those problematic nail polishes, send them to us. And, you know, so they basically did their Earth Day deal, but it was in the middle of the Mentality polish fiasco. So it was just excellent PR. They were like, we will help you get rid of your, you know, body ruining nail polish. And you can buy some of our products. And I thought that was really a classy way for major label to respond. I forgot I'm going to peel off my bases here. So we're going to grab a toothpick. And we're just going to kind of rub. I don't know if y'all ever played with like the Elmer school glue as a kid. We'll just do like thick layers of glue and then peel it up. This does work a lot better with, they make specific nail barrier paints, like it's just liquid latex. However, if you have a latex allergy, I believe Elmer's school glue is safe to use in that regard. It's not coming up. Oh God. Oh God, what have I done? Oh, there we go. And some people thin it out. I did add a little bit of water to mine, like very little amount, and then kind of shook the hell out of it because I keep it in a protective bottle. Oh, that's satisfying. But you can just use it straight if you want to. Get weird with it. Buy like some of their colorful like school glues. Use one of those. They're crazy stuff. So you can see, we'll still have to do a little bit of cleanup with the acetone. That's okay. Oh yeah. When in doubt, ultimately, if you're really on the fence about a polished look, add a glitter. Add a glitter top coat. Do your scattered hollow. You got some scattered silvers. Again, easy to find. Oh yeah, this is, I regret nothing. I regret using glue a little bit, but so it is going to dry out a little bit around my nails, but that's okay. What I do recommend after doing your nails, especially if you do an acetone cleanup, definitely like go in with a cuticle oil or a hand cream like we discussed earlier. Especially like right now, like what I'm doing, like using a nail to peel up that glue layer. That glue layer has sucked the moisture out of your skin as it dries. And so it is kind of abrasive on the skin. So I would recommend definitely going in, doing a little bit of a liquid job. Little oiling, moisturize, hydrate. There we go. You can see I did it pretty deep. I'm sorry if this footage also bothers anyone of me just like peeling and it looking like skin. I didn't even think about that. And then I'm like, this might be kind of gruesome for some viewers. So I don't know, maybe it's satisfying for you if you're like, hell yeah, roll that peel footage. Let's get some peel porn going if you're good with that. If not, I apologize. Yes. Trigger warning, peel porn. She had to stop doing that joke because YouTube's a bunch of killjoys. Children watch your channel. Why? Why are you letting your children unsupervised watch the internet anyway? You know how much horrible shit there is on the internet? Come on, parents, get it together. All right, and we're just scraping. I'm actually wearing a Zoya right now. It's kind of dinged up, but what's on my other hand? It's a Zoya Storm. It's a black scattered hollow. It is a mix of both. Yeah, it's like, ooh, yes, but also, ew, no. It's like a train wreck. You can't look away. Okay, I'm lazy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna go in with my acetone here. So I just use like one of these. I got it at the dollar store. It's just like a refillable pump bottle. It was only $1 because God bless the dollar store. And I was like, maybe the acetone will eat it, maybe it won't. And the acetone has not eaten it. I've had it for a long time. It does clean up easily. Okay, yeah, see, acetone degrades that school glue. Now it'll peel up. Yeah, that'll come right off. It just helps with keeping from leaving a lot of pigment like on your skin too. Because that's always what I've noticed with like, especially reds or deep colors. I always end up with like kind of like a weird pigmentation to the skin around. And that's just because it's leaving, that pigment's depositing in your flesh bits a little bit. And that's okay. That's normal. You can go in with a little acetone, you can clean it out. Or once you've washed your hands a couple of times or showered, that usually takes care of it, I find. Yeah, so you can see it's breaking up. I know. Yeah, when in doubt, just add glitter. Because everyone loves glitter. They go like, oh, glitter. And you're like, yeah, don't look at the jacked up gradient under it. Just look at the glitter. And then they're super impressed. So when I say, I'm going to get some names wrong, and that's okay. Because I'm not a scientist. When I talk about like 3 free, 5 free, 7 free, 9 free, 13 free, which at that point I'm like, what's even left? What it refers to is the chemical base in the nail polish. because obviously nail polish, while some form of nail dye or nail paint has actually existed since 3000 BC, they actually have found Egyptian mummies with their nails darkened with henna. So it's been around. Some form of nail decoration has been around for millennia, like ever since we, first stained our nails with berry juice, and we're like, oh, that looks tight. But over the years, it's been identified that different materials might be a bit carcinogenic, might not be the best thing to use for the skin. So maybe that should be avoided. So I can never remember what they're called. I think it's like toluene and a type of formaldehyde and like something else. I listed them to my boyfriend at one point. He was like, those are toxic. And I was like, it's fine. Clearly it's fine because I'm not dead. But so after a while, it was like, these are kind of caustic, especially for people who do manicures and things for a living, people who work in salons and do this for a living. They're breathing in these chemicals nonstop, even with masks and things, even with an aerated space. You're still inhaling these chemicals, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. And it's not good for you, surprisingly. Generally the body prefers to just have oxygen. So after a while, nail polish companies started coming up with different formulas. And they were like, we got to get rid of the toxic 3, which I know I have in my script. I'm not going to pull up my script right now. I'm sorry. I'm just winging it. And so after a while, they just started to kind of phase out these toxic 3. Now, they're still usable. They're still like, the FDA is kind of like, you could still kind of use them. But mostly you'll find them in like the really sketchy polish brands where it's like you've never even heard of them. And they're just in that like weird cosmetic store that doesn't have any brands you recognize. Like the closest you might get is like an expired Maybelline that they bought from like an overstock site or something. So they will still use a lot of these cheaper and caustic chemicals. I have never had a problem. When I leapt back into nail polish, I was buying a bunch of Clean Color, and that's clean with a K. And it's only $1 a bottle and it's decent, but Lord, is it stinky. And it's because of the formaldehyde in it. So it's a cheap polish. They're decent colors and all. I mean, the formula is not super great. It's kind of streaky, kind of runny, but in a pinch, they're not bad, but they are super stinky and they do have those caustic chemicals. So over time, as more research was done, it was just decided more and more like, let's try and backtrack out of using some of these more caustic chemicals, especially for, again, the manicurists and salon employees who would be the ones most likely to develop lung cancers and other respiratory issues because of breathing this toxic stuff in all the time. So as far as I can have seen at this point, I think the highest number I've seen is 13 free. And it just means there's 13 chemicals that have been previously used in nail polish formulas or might be used in other brands. However, they are not ones that we use. And honestly, that is pretty awesome. It's great that technology is helping things to continually evolve in that way, and that nail polish companies are taking it seriously and working to constantly create better and better products for their customer base. And I think that's part of why I like nail polish too, is because especially the indie community, like there is such a tight knit, and it's for the most part, it's super progressive too. They've Tonic Polish did quite a few fundraiser colors for the Black Lives Matter movement as a show of solidarity. In my PowerPoint that I did earlier, it was very important to me to make sure to have a few options that weren't just a lot of just, white girl nails. So I did, I reached out to Asami Moon personally and asked for her permission and got permission from a few other people, because nail polish is a beautiful thing for everyone and it is inclusive. And just like everything else, I think we really need to be mindful of that 100%. Yeah, see that glue's coming right up. And you do see, especially in the indie world, like I said, there's a lot of solidarity and a lot of respect for even your fellow creators. There's even some nail polish groups. There's Hella Hollow Customs, or at least that's what it used to be called. It's Hella Handmade Creations now. And I do have a link for it. It's a Facebook group. And they get together with different indie makers. And every month, the indie makers make a one-off nail polish that you can buy. So it's not in their regular collections. It's not released on their regular websites. It's just rare stuff that you can buy as like a one-off to one side to kind of help showcase their nail polishes. And just kind of, just to show off, show each other solidarity and support as business owners. And a lot of nail polish companies are, of course, run by women, people born as females. And I don't know, I think it's really great. It's a really unifying thing. You do get a few men and people assigned male at birth who do participate in the nail polish community. And I don't watch like a hawk, but it is so open for everyone. And there is a lot of inclusivity because we all want to have good nails, even if you're not going to go full glam, even if you're just doing something small for yourself, you can buy a clear nail polish, which isn't top coat. It's different somehow. And just, just to even just buff your nails and make them smooth and shiny and just do like a clear top coat on them, just to have that small little bit of beauty, something, really nice and put together that you can take around for your day can really help change your mindset. And I think that's one of the greatest things about nail polish is no one can stop you. No one can stop you from buying it. It's not like anything else where, maybe it won't fit you. You got nails? It's going to fit you. You got short nails? It's going to fit you. You got long claws? Hell yeah, rock them. It's going to fit you. You might have to do a couple coats, but it's going to fit you no matter what. And I think that's important to everyone, no matter what. I should have written a script so that I wouldn't just ramble like an idiot. I'm sorry, guys. Does anyone else have any questions? All right. Oh, we're about cleaned up here. The misty sky now looking a little grungy. Oh, I made time too. Look at that. Got about 7 or 8 minutes left. Just clean up a little bit more. So do the thing. If you want to do nail art, do it. You can buy everything you need on eBay or Amazon. It might take a bit to get here, but you can go to Hobby Lobby. You can go to Sally's. You can buy nail stickers. You can buy nail decals. You can go crazy if you have an inkjet printer. You can buy this specific water decal paper meant for inkjet printers. And you can create designs, print them on the decal paper, and then make your own nail polish decals. If you have a Cricut and you're creative, you can, maybe create whatever designs you want. Like say you want to do like a bunch of cute hearts or something, you can make little nail vinyls and do it that way. There's so much interconnectivity. If you're into 3D printing and you get, after I buff nails smooth, I don't want to paint them because now they're soft. That's valid. That's fine. Yeah, just enjoy them. Just sit there and pet them and go, yes, you're so smooth, like a polished stone. Do that. Do what makes you happy. But yeah, even for the 3D printing community, if you do, why did I put string in the camera? If you do anything where it's like, oh, I'm going to do anything that is acetone soluble. I know there's like some acetone soluble plastics you can use. And it's been a fun convergence because my boyfriend does 3D printing. So he was like, can I borrow some acetone? I was like, yeah. And he can use it to smooth out his prints for any of the little like print lines. And you can use nail polish to paint those. I don't know. It's the most important step in becoming a Sailor Scout because that's the first thing that happens when the Sailor Scouts transform. Their nails get done. So nail polish is power. You can use it to express yourself. You can use it for creativity. You can, for some reason, I think of Lindsay Lohan when she was in court and she had a manicurist do write fuck you on one of her nails. Like, all right, it's a ballsy move. I don't know if it was a good move, but it was a ballsy one. Your nails say so much about who you are if you want them to. They can say who you want to be. They could say, how are you feeling? They're just or just something fun that you can carry around. If you only want to do your toes, just do your toes. That's fine too. But if you want to go ham and do crazy designs, the best thing I'll recommend is to just practice, get used to the different nail polish types, different techniques, because even the pigments can make things run a little different. Like most China glazes are really nice, but they have, especially neon colors, the pigment just does something wiggy in the solvent where it'll end up kind of streaky and patchy, so you might have to play with it a little bit. Some people have good luck with doing a matte top coat, because of course there's different types of top coats. And so sometimes a matte top coat creates a decent base for the neon, or you do a white polish. Generally what I recommend to start, if you want to start but you don't want to spend too much, you don't want to go crazy, just go to Big Lots or TJ Maxx, get just some decent colors, maybe get a couple of effect top coats. Yeah, that turned out okay. Yeah, there's the Big Dipper, part of Ursa Major. And order some dotting tools on the internet. All right, I'm really glad I added the lanula lace. You can see it didn't turn out perfect. That's okay, because the feel is there. The note is there. I shouldn't have done a glitter top coat on the Moati nail. You're kind of losing the definition a little bit, but I mean, it's glitter. How can you not want more glitter in your life? And so, yeah, I would go to TJ Maxx. I would go to Big Lots. Wait for sales on nail polish. Kind of keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on Sally's and Ulta, because a lot of times they'll do like a buy one, get one or whatever. Hit up their clearance sections for nail polish. It doesn't really go bad. As long as you keep that cap sealed up tight. I think glitter tends to dry up quicker, because you end up with glitter chunks kind of getting in the screws of the cap and neck bottleneck. Sorry, I've had a beer. And so sometimes that can kind of impede getting a tight seal, and that's why you'll get more evaporation. Thank you. Yeah. If you guys did your nails with me, I want to see them in the Discord. I really do. Even if you're like, no, they turn out bad, I don't care. Show me your nails. I demand it. That is your price for my panel, is to show me what you've done. And just start small. Do them on the weekend. Do something chill. Put on a podcast. Put on a video. Target's great. Target has a lot of good brands. I just love Target. Target carries some good stuff. Meijer, you might not have a Meijer because you're all West Coast and I'm East Coast. Meijer's like a giant department store, grocery store, and it usually has a cosmetic section, and they'll have nail polish there. Oh, press-on nails. Press-on nails are valid. You can use them as accents. You can decorate them just the same as anything else. If they're lumpy, it might be a little tricky, like if they've got like some glitter designs or things. But yeah, I hope this was informative and not too train of thought. I know it got a little train of thought there. Do your nails. Get your nails done. Have fun with it. You can, even if you're still not confident, if you just want to try a color out, you could take your own polish into a salon and they will paint your nails with that polish for you. So yeah, do it. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy life. All right, have some fun. Get together with some friends and be like, hey, I bought some nail polish. Let's play around. Yeah, if the press-ons work for you, do it. Do what makes you happy. But if you want to, just dip your toes in a little bit, get a little ham with it, do something fun, do something creative, do it. Like it's fun. I don't know. It's fun for me. It's enjoyable. And then I can flex on people when they're like, oh my God, your nails. It could be, thanks, I did them myself. And then they're like, what? And you're like, yeah, I'm kind of talented. And they're like, oh my God, will you do my nails? I'm like, bitch, no, I'm not going to do your nails. I do that a lot with my family. So, but I will do friends' nails because that's different. So yeah, make art, even if it's just on your nails. It's the body's tiny canvas. Oh yeah, share your Dodicures, share your manis. Thank you so much for joining my panel. I'm sorry if this got a little train of thought. I'm sorry if anyone got squicked out by me just ripping glue off of my skin. I have an Instagram account where I do share my nails sometimes. I also have a YouTube channel that has nothing to do with nails. It's called OK Bloomer, and it's all about Lolita history and just kind of the history of the Lolita community as a whole online, different significant events for Lolita fashion. And I post like once a month. I try to keep up with it. I just kind of go on tangents, just like today. Like I'll probably put this one out. Yeah, OK Bloomer, because like I'm old. It's funny. Have a great rest of your night, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got something out of this, even if it was just to be like, what's that girl's problem? Why is she crazy about nails? Make art. God knows we need more art in the world. And you probably need more art for yourself too. So have a great night.